Did you know that a small 5-cent nickel could be worth thousands? Welcome to Rare Coins Numics, where we uncover the hidden treasures of U.S. currency. Some of the rarest U.S. nickels hold incredible value, far beyond their humble face value. Make sure to watch till the end, you won't believe which nickels are worth a fortune. Get ready to discover the secrets that could make you a coin collector's dream. The top one rare and most expensive nickel in the world is a coin that, to the average person, might look like any other nickel. You may have even come across it in your daily life, perhaps even unknowingly. But there's a reason this seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin is one of the most coveted treasures in the world of numismatics. The 1979 USA 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the 1979 nickel, has an extraordinary story behind it. While most 1979 nickels are worth just 5 cents, there's a rare version of this coin that has been known to fetch astonishing amounts at auction. By the end of this video, we'll reveal just how much this unassuming piece of currency can truly be worth, and trust me, the price will surprise you. Let's start with a little background on the 5-cent coin, or the nickel. The U.S. nickel was first introduced in 1866, and it's been a staple of American currency ever since. Over the years, the design of the nickel has changed, reflecting the nation's evolution in politics, values, and society. The 1979 nickel, though, stayed with the tried-and-true design that had been in circulation for decades, specifically since 1938, when artist Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson was first minted on the coin's obverse. The design of the 1979 nickel was straightforward and familiar. On the front of the coin, we find the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the man behind the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson's image had adorned the nickel for over 40 years, and it had become an indelible part of American currency. His dignified profile was a constant reminder of the principles of liberty and democracy that formed the foundation of the country. On the reverse side of the 1979 nickel, there's an image of Jefferson's beloved estate, Monticello, a neoclassical mansion he designed and built in Virginia. Monticello has appeared on the reverse of the nickel since 1938, and it serves as a symbol of Jefferson's architectural genius and vision for America. Together, the two sides of the coin, the portrait of Jefferson and the representation of Monticello, form an enduring tribute to one of America's most influential founding fathers. At first glance, the 1979 nickel might seem like just another coin. It's not particularly flashy, and its design is one that's been in use for decades. But as we dive deeper into the world of coin collecting, we discover that it's the subtle details that can make a coin stand out. Sometimes, even the smallest mistake during minting can make a coin worth far more than its face value. And that's exactly what happened with the 1979 nickel. In the world of numismatics, rare errors are among the most coveted finds. And in the case of the 1979 nickel, there was a specific error that occurred during the minting process, one that would make certain versions of this coin incredibly valuable to collectors. That error? A double die strike, a flaw that occurred when the die used to imprint the design on the coin became misaligned. As a result, some 1979 nickels were struck with a doubling effect on the images, both on the portrait of Jefferson and on the image of Monticello. To most casual observers, these double die nickels would appear perfectly normal. It's only with a closer examination that the error becomes visible. The misalignment causes the design to appear doubled, with a faint shadow of the original strike visible next to the primary design. This slight misprint, this imperfection, is exactly what makes the 1979 double die nickel so special, and it's what makes it worth far more than just 5 cents. Now, you may be asking, how many of these double die 1979 nickels were minted, and why is it so difficult to find one? The answer lies in the rarity of the error. While millions of 1979 nickels were struck that year, only a small number were affected by this double die error. The misalignment occurred sporadically and was only caught on a handful of coins. This makes the 1979 double die nickel a rare find, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything, but the rarity alone isn't the only factor that drives the value of these coins. There's also the condition of the coin to consider. As with any collectible, the better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Coins that have been well preserved over time, free from significant wear, scratches, or discoloration, are far more valuable than those that have been circulated heavily. The ideal 1979 double die nickel would be in mint or near mint condition, with the doubling effect clearly visible and the coin's design crisp and intact. Now, here's where things get even more exciting. You might be wondering, just how much is a 1979 double-die nickel worth today? While most 1979 nickels are worth only 5 cents, a well-preserved example of the 1979 double-die era can sell for an incredible price. In fact, some of these coins have fetched as much as $103,000 at auction. Yes, that's right, $103,000 for a 5-cent piece. That's how much a rare 1979 nickel with a double-die era can be worth in the right condition, but how can a coin that was originally worth just 5 cents climb to such astronomical heights? It all comes down to the rarity of the era, the demand from collectors, and the condition of the coin. The fewer the number of double-die 1979 nickels in existence, the more valuable they become. Add to that the excitement among collectors to find a coin with such a unique feature, and you've got a recipe for a coin that can command a truly jaw-dropping price. Think about it, if you happen to find one of these rare 1979 double-die nickels in your pocket change, it could be worth more than your entire car. If you owned one, it wouldn't just be a coin in your collection, it would be an investment worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. For coin collectors, finding such a rare coin is like discovering a hidden treasure, a piece of history that has somehow survived for decades, only to be unearthed and prized. But the story of the 1979 double-die nickel isn't just about its monetary value. It's also a story about history, craftsmanship, and how even the smallest error in a massive minting process can create something extraordinary. The 1979 nickel serves as a reminder of how imperfect the world can be, and how sometimes, those imperfections lead to something beautiful and valuable. In conclusion, the 1979 USA 5-cent coin, with its rare double-die error, is not just another piece of currency. It's a piece of American history, a rare collector's item, and an example of how a mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after treasure. So, the next time you're flipping through your spare change, take a second look at any 1979 nickels you might come across. Top 2. In the world of numismatics, where collectors meticulously search for rare treasures, there are a few coins that stand out. These coins don't just represent currency, they embody history, culture, and, for some lucky collectors, a windfall of wealth. One such coin that has captured the attention of coin enthusiasts worldwide is the 1983 USA 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. While to the untrained eye, this coin may seem like just another part of everyday life, it holds a fascinating story that we're going to unravel. From its historical context to its design and minting details, this nickel has a legacy worth exploring. And at the end, we'll reveal a value so high it might just take your breath away. Stick with me as we dive into the story of the 1983 nickel. Let's start with the broader context, the history of the 5-cent coin in the United States. The 5-cent coin, or nickel, has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1866. But the 1983 version is unique, with elements of the design and minting process that make it particularly interesting to collectors. To understand why this particular year of the nickel is special, we need to go back to the 1980s. The United States was in a period of transition in the early 1980s. The economy was recovering from the stagflation of the 1970s, and President Ronald Reagan had just taken office. It was a time of change, both politically and economically. And while this was going on, the U.S. Mint was also undergoing its own transformation. The minting process for coins, including the 5-cent nickel, had to keep up with the evolving demands of the U.S. economy. The 1983 nickel was part of this new wave of minting. Now, let's talk about the design. The 1983 nickel was struck with the same basic design that had been in place since 1938. The obverse, or front, side of the coin featured the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This design, created by the artist Felix Schlag, had been in use for decades, and by 1983, it had become iconic. Jefferson's face, with his distinct features and dignified expression, was instantly recognizable to anyone who had ever handled a nickel. On the reverse, or back, side of the 1983 coin, you could see an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello. The home was a symbol of Jefferson's legacy as a statesman, architect, and philosopher. The Monticello design, which had been on the nickel since 1938, was a perfect counterpart to Jefferson's portrait on the obverse. It was a striking reminder of the nation's history and the accomplishments of one of its most influential founding fathers. However, the story of the 1983 nickel doesn't end with its design. It's what happened during the minting process that gives the coin its allure. Like most coins produced by the U.S. Mint, the 1983 nickel was made from a combination of metals. Specifically, it was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a composition that has been the standard for U.S. nickels since the 1860s. However, during the 1983 minting process, an unusual phenomenon occurred. Some 1983 nickels were struck with a slight flaw, a distinctive error that would go unnoticed by most casual observers but was of immense importance to collectors. A portion of the coins that were struck that year was created with an unusual double die error, meaning that the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, causing a doubling effect on the design. This error, though small, made the 1983 nickel a sought-after piece for coin enthusiasts looking for rare and unique specimens. Imagine holding a coin that looks almost identical to a regular nickel, yet upon closer inspection, reveals this double die error. The excitement of finding one of these coins is enough to make any collector's heart race. But of course, such errors are incredibly rare. In fact, only a handful of these misprinted coins are believed to exist today. And that rarity is exactly what drives the value of the 1983 nickel to incredible heights. Collectors began to realize that the 1983 nickel, with its subtle yet significant error, could be worth much more than its face value. Over time, these error coins have found their way into the hands of private collectors and investors, who are always on the lookout for rare and valuable pieces of American history. Some of these nickels have sold at auction for far more than most people would ever imagine paying for a coin that's nominally worth just 5 cents. So, you might be wondering, what exactly is the current value of a 1983 nickel with this rare double die error? Well, let's cut to the chase. As of today, the value of this particular coin can be staggering. If you happen to be lucky enough to own one of these rare 1983 nickels in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Some of these coins have been known to fetch up to $94,000 at auction. Now, how is this possible? To understand how a coin like the 1983 nickel could reach such an impressive price, we need to look at the factors that contribute to its value. First, there's the rarity of the error. Only a few of these double die error coins were produced, making them incredibly hard to find. Second, there's the demand from collectors. As with any collectible item, the rarer it is, the higher the demand, and consequently, the price. Finally, there's the condition of the coin. Coins that are in mint condition, with no significant wear and tear, are always valued higher than those that have been circulated and show signs of aging. Collectors and investors alike are constantly on the lookout for rare coins, and the 1983 nickel is one that continues to be in high demand. Whether it's a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector just starting out, the allure of finding a rare coin like this one is undeniable. But let's take a moment to think about what makes this coin so special beyond its monetary value. The 1983 nickel isn't just a rare collector's item, it's a piece of American history. It's a representation of a time when the nation was experiencing significant political and economic change. And it's a reminder of the craftsmanship that went into creating something as simple, yet as enduring, as a coin. In conclusion, the 1983 USA 5-cent coin is a perfect example of how the seemingly mundane can become something extraordinary. A simple nickel, minted in large quantities and circulated by the millions, can evolve into a rare and valuable treasure when combined with a small but significant minting error. It serves as a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, rarity, and value all come together in the palm of your hand. So, the next time you hold a nickel, take a moment to appreciate its history. Up next, Top 3: the 1994 USA 5-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary nickel that hides a fascinating story and a surprising value in the world of numismatics. At first glance, the 1994 5-cent coin looks like just another coin you'd find in your pocket change. After all, it's the same Jefferson portrait we've seen on nickels for decades. But what most people don't realize is that this particular coin has some hidden characteristics that make it one of the most intriguing pieces in modern U.S. coinage. If you're a casual coin collector or just someone who's never paid much attention to nickels, you might be surprised to learn that some 1994 nickels are worth far more than their 5-cent face value. In fact, a certain version of the 1994 nickel has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike, with some coins being sold for jaw-dropping sums. But what exactly makes the 1994 nickel so special? Let's start with the basics. The US 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, has been in circulation since 1866. Over the years, the design has evolved, but the 1994 nickel remained part of the long-standing tradition featuring the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Designed by Felix Schlag, Jefferson's portrait had been a fixture on the nickel since 1938, and the reverse side of the coin showcased his Virginia estate, Monticello, as a symbol of his legacy. By 1994, this design was nothing new. However, that year, something rare happened in the U.S. Mint that would turn an ordinary nickel into something extraordinary. It wasn't the design itself that made the coin valuable, but a small error during the minting process that would make a select few 1994 nickels highly coveted among collectors. In the world of numismatics, errors are often seen as the holy grail of coin collecting. When a coin is minted incorrectly, it can become an incredibly rare and valuable collectible. In the case of the 1994 nickel, the error that turned heads was the close AM variety. This refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. On most 1994 nickels, these letters were spaced apart in a way that became standard for the minting process. But on a small number of coins, the A and M were struck much closer together, creating a noticeable variation that would soon captivate coin collectors around the world. Why does this matter? Well, in coin collecting, even the smallest variation can make a world of difference. The close AM error was subtle enough that many people didn't notice it at first, but to seasoned collectors, it was a treasure waiting to be uncovered. The rarity of this error, combined with the fact that so few of these coins made it into circulation, made the 1994 close AM nickel a highly sought-after item. Now, let's talk about the rarity and the demand for this coin. While millions of 1994 nickels were produced, only a small number of them were struck with the close AM error. So, if you're lucky enough to find one, you're holding on to a coin that's rare and valuable. But it's not just the error that makes this coin special, it's also the condition it's in. The more pristine the coin, the higher its value. Coin collectors and investors pay top dollar for well-preserved coins, especially when they feature a unique error like the close AM. This brings us to the big question: how much could a 1994 close AM nickel actually be worth? The answer might surprise you. In recent years, some of these rare coins have sold for staggering amounts at auctions. If you think a nickel is worth just 5 cents, think again. A 1994 close AM nickel in excellent condition can sell for as much as $76,000. The reason behind this high price is the rarity of the close AM error, combined with the strong demand from collectors who are eager to add this unique coin to their collections. The 1994 close AM nickel is one of the most coveted modern error coins in circulation today. Coins like this are part of the numismatic world's hidden gems, where small details can make all the difference in value. So, if you ever find yourself holding a 1994 nickel, take a moment to examine it carefully. Check the spacing between the letters A and M in America. If the letters are unusually close together, you may be holding on to a rare piece of history that could be worth a small fortune. To sum it all up, the 1994 USA 5-cent coin is far more than just a nickel. Thanks to its rare, close AM minting error, this coin has become one of the most valuable modern US coins. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to explore the world of numismatics, this rare error coin is a testament to how a simple mistake during the minting process can create a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. Up next, we're diving into the story of a seemingly ordinary coin that has captivated the world of numismatics, an everyday 5-cent piece from the year 2000. At first glance, the 2000 USA 5-cent coin, or the 2000 nickel, may appear to be just like any other nickel you've seen, but its journey is far from ordinary. What might seem like a simple piece of currency is actually a fascinating part of American history and modern coin collecting. By the time we wrap up, you'll be amazed at just how much this humble coin could be worth today. Let's begin by setting the stage. The US 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, has been in circulation for over a century and a half. First introduced in 1866, the nickel was a game-changer in American currency. Made from a mixture of copper and nickel, it was designed to replace smaller silver coins that were becoming too expensive to produce in the aftermath of the Civil War. The design of the nickel has evolved over time, but the 2000 nickel is particularly noteworthy for several reasons. The year 2000 marked the turn of the millennium, a time of great change and reflection, both in society and in the world of coinage. The U.S. Mint was tasked with producing coins that not only honored the nation's history but also represented the new era. The 2000 nickel was one of those coins that symbolized the nation's pride and heritage, while also providing an intriguing look into how the U.S. Mint adapted to new challenges and technologies. By the time 2000 rolled around, the design of the nickel had already undergone significant changes. Since 1938, the nickel had featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on its obverse. The reverse side of the coin depicted Jefferson's home, Monticello, his plantation in Virginia. These designs, created by artist Felix Schlag, had become iconic and were instantly recognizable. In 2000, the design of the nickel remained the same, but there was a shift in how the coin was made, particularly due to the minting technology used at the time. The 2000 nickel was minted with a particular focus on quality and precision, thanks to advancements in minting processes and technologies. These processes would end up influencing the appearance of the coin in ways that were subtle but impactful, especially when it came to errors and variations that would later increase the coin's value. The U.S. Mint, during this period, was working to ensure that coins were being produced with greater consistency and less human error. However, even with these improvements, the Mint still occasionally produced coins with subtle variations, which would later lead to these coins becoming highly collectible. One such variation, or rather an error, caught the attention of collectors when it was discovered in the 2000 nickel series. This error coin, often referred to as the 2000 wide AM nickel, features a distinct flaw on the reverse side, where the spacing between the letters A and M in America is much wider than usual. This discrepancy in the die used to strike the coin was subtle but noticeable enough to make the coin a sought-after collector's item. Unlike other years, where the letters on the reverse side of the coin were spaced more closely together, the 2000 nickel exhibited this spacing error, which made it stand out in the world of coin collecting. Errors in coins are a major factor in driving up their value, and the 2000 wide AM nickel is a prime example of this. While many 2000 nickels were minted with the standard, close AM, spacing, a small number of coins were produced with this wider spacing. These, wide AM, variety coins were the result of a mistake in the die used to mint them, and as is often the case in numismatics, errors create a high level of interest among collectors. Even though the difference in letter spacing might seem small to the untrained eye, the rarity of the coin, combined with the distinctive nature of the error, made it highly desirable to those with an eye for rare and valuable coins. But it wasn't just the error that made the 2000 nickel fascinating to collectors. As with all coins, the condition of the coin also plays a significant role in determining its value. When it comes to rare coins, particularly error coins, the more pristine the condition, the higher the price collectors are willing to pay. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp details and little to no wear, are considered far more valuable than those that are tarnished or scratched. The 2000 wide AM nickel in perfect condition is a rare find, and as with any rare coin, its value increases significantly when it is in mint or near mint condition. Now, you might be wondering, how much can a 2000 wide AM nickel really be worth? While the average nickel from 2000 is worth only 5 cents, the wide AM error coin has proven to be much more valuable, especially when it is in excellent condition. The value of these rare nickels has steadily increased over the years, thanks to their rarity and appeal to collectors. Today, the 2000 wide AM nickel can fetch an impressive price at auction. Depending on the condition, these coins have been known to sell for thousands of dollars. In fact, a 2000 wide AM nickel in pristine condition can be worth as much as $22,000. The 2000 nickels rise to such a remarkable value is a testament to the world of coin collecting, where small details, such as a slight variation in letter spacing, can make all the difference. In the world of numismatics, the value of a coin is determined by a combination of factors: rarity, condition, historical significance, and, in some cases, the luck of having an error or variation that collectors are eager to add to their collections. The 2000 wide AM nickel is a prime example of how a seemingly simple minting error can create a coin that becomes a coveted treasure. For many coin collectors, owning a 2000 wide AM nickel is the pinnacle of their collection. These rare coins are not just valuable, they're also an important piece of American history. The fact that a simple mistake in the minting process can create a coin worth so much is a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics. Every coin, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has a story to tell. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more hidden treasures, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. You never know, the next coin we feature could be the one sitting right in your pocket.